So now we'll see how to review the customer account balances. Just go to the instance, and if you want to review the account balances, see here, if you go to just billing or accounts receivable, the task list, we can find one task called as review customer account summary or balances. Here we have a task called as review customer account summary or balances. Let me just zoom out. Okay, review customer account details. So directly you cannot review the customer account details. Okay, for that we have to run the process. We have to run the process. The process, what it will do is it will collect all the customer balances, and again you have to submit the refresh process also. Then that will display the customer balances which are associated with the different transactions. Okay, so typically we see this kind of processes in project accounting. Okay, the cost, you have to submit the different programs. Okay, so those will collect the cost and it will display. The same way here, just we have to submit customer related balances related programs. Those will update the balances. So without submitting those processes, if you are able to see the balances, only the reason is if not you, someone else already submitted. That works at instance level. We cannot run for specific customer. So if I am going to run this process now from your side, if you are not going to run, for your customer also will be able to see the updated balances. Okay, that's how it works. Instance level we are going to run it. That is the reason. So that will update all the customer related summary account details. That's how we'll be able to access even if you don't run. But so it's a mandatory you should run, then only the information will get updated. Fine. So go to scheduled process. Okay, schedule processes. Just search with the term called as customer search. Okay. So here is the job called as process receivables transactions for customer account summaries. What are the transactions we have within the receivables related to customer? Okay, the summary amount system account wise, customer account wise system will take the summaries. Okay, summary information, just you select it. See, this is the first job which you have to run. After processing, to review those balances, you have to submit this refresh receivables transactions for customer account summaries. Okay, these are the sequential jobs which you have to run. First you have to run the process, then refresh. Select, say OK. Click on OK. So it runs at instance level. It's not specific to your business unit. Submit this job. Okay, done. Now you can refresh the navigation. Go to schedule processes. And you can search with the term called as a refresh or customer. Okay, here is the job. Refresh receivable transactions for customer account summaries. Select, say OK. Submit. Fine. Okay, now we can go and find the summary of customer balances. Go to billing or accounts receivables, any one of the task. Go to task list. Here also you have a review customer account balances. The top here, review customer accounts. Anyway, here we have a separate task. Review customer account details. Okay, find your customer. Our customer name is Cloud INC customer 1. Search. Okay, so this is how that summary of the balances. You can see total open receivables, due, pending applications, total past due, and if you scroll, if you select this, okay. I mean, if you just these are the summary. If you want to see the detailed information, go to activities, so that you can see the respective transactions. From which transaction, these account balances are summarized. So these are the actual original transactions and with the respective statuses. So receipts, invoices, all, and these associated activities also you can see below. If any activity is performed against that, those you can see below. Okay, this is how you can filter total open receivables, total transaction dues, and the pending applications. Okay, yeah. So this is how just you can review the customer account balances. Before that, you have to run those two processes. Okay, that is a point we have to understand. Now we'll look at FBDI process for customers. So we know very well from where we can download the template, right? So we'll go and download the template. Search for Oracle OER, Oracle Enterprise Repository. Now we have to go to financials. The version you can select as a current version, and just go to use and search for FBDI. If not use, you can go with the books. Search for FBDI. Okay, file-based data import. So click on show details. Just go with the HTML. Let's open that page. And here you can click on file-based data import. So now which data we want to load? Customers data. Okay, here we have a template for customer import. So we know this process very well. Just we will download this template, right? We'll provide the data, we'll convert into so the CSV format, and we'll load into UCM, or else directly you can load into interface. From there you can import. So we'll download this template. So just right click, say save link as. So Cloud INC. say second, it's not responding. Fine. Cloud INC. Customer FBDI. Save this template into this folder. Okay, if you want to place in the UCM, this is the account information we have to use in the fin receivables import. Here we have to place this file. Okay, so the sub process. This is a
How we use control file?
sorry.
How we use control?
So here these control files and all, if you are going to use some third-party integrations, in that case technical people will use it. Normally when we do this job as a functional job, no use of it. Okay, in third-party integrations, it could be cloud or on-premise. In that case, the files can be used. Okay.
Okay, with SOA.
Yeah. Correct. Fine. So we download it. So this is a file we downloaded. Just go through this template. If you look at this template, you could see the information like here. It's a more focused on HZ. HZ means parties, right? Parties. TCA, within the TCA arc structure, the parties information will be stored in the HZ tables. Here all you could see which represents HZ. So parties information and party sites, party site usages, customer accounts, customer account sites, and customer account site usage, customer account relationship, and contacts. There are a lot many tabs here you could see, which majorly targeted to load the parties information. Contact points, contact roles, contacts, locations, party relationships, customer account, contact responsibilities, classifications, person, language, customer account, and site profiles. All related to this party focused information. Along with that customer information we can load. Okay, so initially this is a template Oracle released, and they are continuing with the latest versions also in terms of providing this template. But reality, when you are going to load the customer's data, we use different template. Okay, again we have another option where Oracle given the simple template. That template you can download from the instance and you can upload from there itself. You don't need to follow the FBDI process when you load the customers. We have alternative option from just you can download the template, fill with the data, and upload into the same, same page. That's how the data can be imported into application. We'll see that process. Okay, here, so we are under accounts receivable. Go to task list. So fine, just I think switch to billing task. Go to task list. Here under customers, you can see the task called as upload customers from spreadsheet. Just click on this task. So you can ignore the template which we downloaded from OER. Okay, normally we use this template. That is a very complex template where a lot of information, even it's not normally which we don't maintain that sort of records. So however we created a customer in the same way, simple manner, you can input the data into this template that we can load into the application. Okay, so navigation is you have to go to billing. Under billing, go to task list. Within the task list you can find the task called as upload customers from spreadsheet. Okay, you will be landing on this page. Just download the customer spreadsheet template. Just open that. Here also you can find the sample data. First of all, we'll go and save this template. So when you're saving, you can choose this option, Excel macro enabled worksheet. Okay, here we'll go with the same upload customer template. What's this? Okay. Fine. So here you can see like generate CSV file. This we know. Show extensible attributes, hide extensible attributes. You just always enable it because all the time we'll find the sample data. So if you keep on hide, you cannot remove or you cannot enter the relevant data. So always go with this option called as show extensible attributes within this template, so that hidden fields also it will display. Done. Select it. Now go to customer tab. So the extensible fields means this which are in the which row columns are in the gray color. So earlier those are hidden. We just enabled, so now it's displaying. Fine. So we can remove the sample data, maybe except one record. So we can just create one customer. Fine. 1 second, please. Fine. So source system, from which system we are bringing the customer's data, that name you can enter. Okay, let it be sales only. Customer number, you can enter the customer number. Okay, if you look at this if you look at that column, the customer number is mandatory. So you can just enter some number and customer name. You want to create the customer with what name? So Cloud INC 1. Yes, we are giving the customer name as Cloud INC 1. And taxpayer registration number, that is not required. Customer account number. Okay, it's a customer number. This is a customer account number. Account number, you can enter any number. And account source reference, from which system we are bringing this customer, that source reference number not required, optional. Okay, account description is optional field basically. Account type also it's optional. Account established date, this is also optional. If you are creating today, it will take today's date. Okay, fine. Your customer class not mandatory. Customer profile class, yes, here you could see the field as optional, but still we have to provide a mandatory so that the relevant data would be defaulted for customer definition level, right? So provide customer profile class. To provide the customer profile class, go to the instance. From instance we'll take that information. So whatever the customer profile class we created, that will just take into the template. So manage customers. Cloud INC customer 1. You can just click on account number. Go to profile history. So here we can find the profile class name. Okay, profile class name is Cloud INC standard. Just take the same name into spreadsheet. Cloud INC standard. The site number, enter customer site number. Okay, you can provide the site name and the site relevant information. Okay. Site name you can say Cloud INC1, and account address set. Which account address set we are using? So here, if you go to account definition, even you could directly you can see from here also. No need to navigate to this page also. Just after searching here, you can find the account description. Account set. Just click on site. Basically here the name it displays the description, but reality what exact code we given, the code we have to take. So this is the name you have to take. Account address set. This name we have to take. For this we given the description as a same name but without underscores and all. So you should not take that exact set code you have to take into spreadsheet. When you create the customer, we have to provide this set, right? So that set information you can provide. Location source reference, source system location reference, any number you can provide. And we have to provide that address information. So here maybe Cloud INC address 1. So mail stop and all not required. The building number, floor is not required. Okay. So here you can provide the city, state. Okay, these details you can provide for that. You can just take that information from here itself. Okay, we can go with the same state, city, postal code, or you can just take other reference information here and you can provide city, state. Okay, county name, this province, etc. not required. Country is US. Done. Okay, time zone, New York and all. You can keep this, or else you can remove. Identifying address. Okay, the site language, site purpose, source reference. Okay, so some source reference. When you say reference, it's all about the source system information, so that you can input with actual number, but here any one of the number. Okay, so address purpose, so bill to purpose and site purpose, primary indication, yes you can set a default. And if you want to set the payment method, yes you can set the payment method the default, which system will default. Verify other fields also, because we are using the template which has some sample data, so verify all the columns. Fine. Then what are the information required, we provided. Now rest of tabs, contacts, reference and customer account details, these are optional information, right? So I'm just going to remove the data, sample data. If you want to enter the contact information, you can enter, otherwise ignore it. Just you can remove the data, or else even if you remove these sheets from this template also, there won't be an issue. Okay, just data you sample it you can remove, or else you can remove this contacts reference if you don't require this tabs to be within this sheet. Done. So we provided this information. The rest of process is just generate CSV file against this template. Just click on generate CSV file. Okay, Cloud INC customer FBDI, just we can take into the same folder. The file is created. Now process is very simple. Okay, from this page From here we downloaded the template and we provided data, we converted to CSV. Now we have to upload that file to application by using this tab. Just click on upload customers from spreadsheet. Cloud INC batch name, Cloud INC customer, upload. So browse that file. Okay, here we have that file. Here upload customers. Select this file and submit. Even if you have a one customer record, it takes minimum 5 to 10 minutes time. Okay, now we have to wait 5 to 10 minutes. So one system will process it. It gives the number total of total records. How many total records are taken into the application from the sheet, and how many records are succeeded, how many records are unsuccessful records. It shows the unsuccessful records. Say for example you have a 10 customers data within the sheet and it shows 10 total records, and successful records say 8 and 2 are unsuccessful. If you click on that number 2 which are unsuccessful, it will display the reasons. What are the reasons those records could not be processed? That's how we can see. Okay, we have to wait for 5 to 10 minutes time. Meantime I'll stop the recording. Okay, once the process complete, we'll on the recording and we'll proceed. Fine. Now you could see the status as the total records as 1 and successful records 1. Now we can go and find the same customer in the application. Just click on done. What name we given for customer? As per this sheet, we given the customer name as Cloud INC1. We'll go and find this Cloud INC1 within the application. So no other step. Okay, directly we can get into the application. If that is the direct FBDI template, we know we have to load into interface from their import process and all. Here one step process. So now you can go to manage customers. So we manage customers. Cloud INC 1. So you can see the definition. Customer is created, account is created, site also created. So this is how we can create the customer definition. That's all about the customer loading process. Instead of FBDI template, basically here we use this template which is available within the application. Okay, which would be equal to FBDI only, but it's not exact FBDI. Okay, so now we look at auto invoice import process. So how to load the open transactions. For this we have to use the same template. When we talk about this FBDI process for auto invoice, we have to complete the required setups from receivable side. So we know to implement auto invoice solution in the application, we have to complete auto accounting for all account types for receivables, right? Say configure auto accounting for all account types. It's a mandatory how to complete for all account types, auto accounting configuration if you want to import the invoice into receivables. Fine. So we have to set up transaction source with the source type as a imported. We create a transaction source as a manual, right? Now when we are going to import the auto invoice information to receivables, we need transaction source type as imported. And we have to define line transaction flex field definition. So create, so line transaction is a descriptive flex field, right? So create line transaction descriptive flex field. sorry, descriptive flex field. Say simply DFF, descriptive flex field structure. It's a mandate in this process. Okay, it's mandate in this process. Okay, just we have to complete these setups, then we can prepare. So we don't like just will download FBDI template from OER, Oracle Enterprise Repository, then prepare with the data and convert into CSV. After converting into CSV, we have to load into interface. From there we'll import into base tables. Import into base tables. The same process. When you deal with FBDA, what process we follow, same process. But depending on the data, relevant setups we have to perform. First, we have to configure auto accounting rules for all account types. Okay, we'll go and complete it. Go to setup part, setup and maintenance. Go to our implementation project. Search for auto accounting rules. So manage auto accounting rules. I think we created auto accounting rules only for two type of accounts and later again for two more accounts for revenue recognition. For total 4 accounts we created auto accounting configuration. For rest of all as a mandatory we have to create. If you want to implement auto invoice in EBS, same applicable in a Fusion also. Okay. So first we'll verify for which account types this auto accounting rule is defined. Cloud INC US business unit. Click on search. So for this 4 type of accounts, rule is available. Okay. We'll create for other type of accounts. Select business unit. Cloud INC US business unit. So we'll just go with the all type of accounts. So company, department, auto invoice clearing account. You can select auto invoice clearing account. Not sure that account is there or not. What we'll do is so instead of picking the account based on the type of account, we'll go with any one of the random account. There won't be an issue just to complete the setup. So auto invoice clearing means we should select auto invoice clearing account only, but same story here. Within this value set, all accounts are not there. We can go with any one of the random account. Say create another. So next account is bills receivable. Select company. Select department. Provide any one of the random account. Then says create another. Deferred tax account. Select company, department and deferred tax account. Any account you can select and say create another. So factor bills receivable. So I create another. So freight. So provide code combination for freight account. Okay, here now you can select account called as freight account. Right. That account may be available, no issues, but you can go with any one of the random account. So create another. After freight account type, we have receivables. Already for receivables we defined auto accounting rules, right? Here we have the same. And remitted bills receivable. Say create another. For revenue also already we completed setup. Right, tax.
Lakshman, what is the difference between remitted bills receivable and receivable?
If you are using the bills, do you know the bills concept in EBS?
Yeah.
Yeah, in that case we'll use it. Say customer will send the check, will create the receipt. Right? Instead of payment,
Yes.
customer can send the bill. That as we receive the bill, we have to create the bills receivable transaction. In that case, system will use that account, and the amount will hit to that bills receivable account. Once the one you will discount the bill. Once you discount the bill against the bills receivable transaction, will create the receipt. Normally, transaction receipt will apply on the transaction. In case of bills receivables, what is the process? Will create the transaction directly. You don't get the payment. You will get a bill. Bill you will create and bill you will assign against the transaction. Apply on the transaction. Whenever bill is discounted, you will create receipt. Receipt will apply on the bills receivable transaction. It comes as an intermediate step in case of bills receivables. Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. So create another. So unbilled receivables, unearned revenue already we created. So unpaid bills receivable. Fine that. So we completed auto accounting configuration for all account type which is required by auto invoice process. Just click on done. And here you can notice for all account types we created. Even if you ignore one account also, the auto invoice process will fail. Right? The same rule what you have in EBS here also applicable. Done. Sometimes what happening is when we create it is showing as created, and later point of time it is showing the auto accounting is not configured for all account types. For that reason I want to check it once. Some instances are behaving so that after creating also not created. When you go and verify, even we are not able to find it. Yeah, now we can see in our case it's fine. Okay, done. So transaction source, go to transaction source definition, manage transaction sources. So even in EBS or Fusion, the default transaction source system will create for every business unit. They are operating here business unit. Here we have a transaction source which system creates as a receivables import. We can use this transaction source. Okay, receivables import. You can just click on this. And here you may select your transaction type which you created. Even this is applicable for our business unit also. For every new BU, system will create one transaction type called as invoice also, that we know. Or else you may select our business or transaction type, that is cloud INC invoice, right? You can associate the rest of all parameters and defaults you can accept, so which will support that import process and accounting all. Okay, you don't need to change this. You can keep as this, and you may select your legal entity here if you want to select. So cloud INC search. Say save and close. And before that, just make a note of this transaction source. Reason, when we are going to prepare the template to import the invoices data into receivables, we require source name as well as transaction type also. Fine. So say save and close. But we can take this legal entity name also. Is all required as inputs in the process. I mean, in the data preparation. Fine. Now, just one more setup we have to perform, that is line transaction descriptive flex field structure. So, with the help of this only, system will identify the lines are belongs to which transaction, which header. We'll see that as a part of template definition. But it's a mandatory how to create it. You can search for receivables descriptive flex fields. Search for receivables descriptive flex fields. Manage receivables descriptive flex fields. Okay, manage receivables descriptive flex fields. Click on go to task icon. So we have many descriptive flex fields, right? Which are specific to forms in EBS, here specific to page. Out of that, we have to look for line transaction flex field, which we use in the auto invoice process, right? Line. Just search with the term called as line. Line transaction. This is the one. Let me filter by typing the same. So, however, we create the structure, instance, and everything. In case of KFF, in the same way for DFF, also you have to create the structure definition and all. But of course, here we don't call as segments; we call as attributes. You know that same rule is applicable. So, this is a line transaction descriptive flex field. Within that, we'll go and create the structure. Just click on edit. Okay, just click on manage contest. Contest flex field structure we are going to create. Just click on manage contest. It will take us to the structure definition window. From here you can create. Just say create. So display name. Line transaction structure display name. Display name say cloud INC SO sales order. So take this name. Take the display name and make a note. Save it. Within this you can create one or two segments. At least you can create one segment to capture the sales order number. I mean the sales order, you have to address the line is belongs to which sales order. That's how you should have a reference. For that I'll say sales order number as one segment, and say create value set for this segment. Create segment, reality it's an attribute, right? When you say DFF, So DFF, what we create, we treat as attributes. So it creates value set. So sales order number. Okay, value set for sales order number. So module you can select. So this setup is related to receivables, right? Accounts receivable. So I think we have as a receivables. Validation type, so independent value set. Value data type is character. Subtype text. The sales order number, whatever you want to enter in how many digits. I'll say 10. So save and close. Done. Only one segment we created, enough. Okay. Your data type, character. Okay. Select our value set. Okay, done. Then say save and close. So within this line transaction flex field, descriptive flex field, we created only one segment. Just remember, when we are filling the data in the template, for this segment we have to provide the number. That would be enough. That is a mandatory also. So we don't need to do any additional configuration here. Structure we created, against the structure we created one segment, right? So this is a structure name, Cloud INC. Yes, so this name is required for us. So now say save and close, and we have to submit this descriptive flex field for deployment. So save and close. Okay, then you have to perform the deployment.
Lakshman, do we need to create the invoice grouping rules?
Yeah, see, we can, like by default, Oracle provides seeded, right? Beyond that, if you are looking for some attribute, some criteria selection for grouping, then you can add additional. That's it. Otherwise, not required. Same, you can
Okay.
grouping rule, line ordering rule. Those you can use the standard. Beyond that, if your requirement on what base it has to be grouped, how it's lined up. If you have some additional specifications, most of the grouping criteria, the standard default one covers, right? Okay. Not mandatory to create. If you want, yes, you can go with some additional criteria specification. So it's done. So it's got deployed. I'll just click on done. Fine. Just we completed required configuration for to import the invoice information to receivables from spreadsheet. Even the same setups will support to import sales order information into receivables also. Now we completed now the same. Okay, anyway, this is not required when we are bringing the data from OM as a mandatory, but these two are mandatory that we completed now itself. We'll be using these setups for auto invoice, which will be loading from FBDI template, and the direct process called as OM to here also will use the same setups. Fine. Now we have to go and download that template from OER and prepare with the data, create, convert into CSV, load interface, and import into base tables. We'll go with the steps. So we have to go and download that template. Let me navigate again. Go to financials, click on the version, and go with the books. Search for file based import for financial cloud. Click on HTML page and go to file based data imports. And here we need invoice, receivables invoice. So, so receivable standard assets means it's a log box related. Okay. Auto invoices, search with auto invoices. The first one itself. Download this file, right click and say save link as. Let's take into the same folder, Cloud INC, customer FBDI, that's how we given the name, no issues. We can take this auto invoice also into same folder. Now we have to prepare with the data. So open the template, auto invoice, import template. Sorry interface line solve. Here you could see some sample data. Remove all the records except one. So provide our business unit to take the reference uh, to prepare this template. We'll open the transaction creation page so that we can take enough reference information. Go to transaction workbench. So we are not going to create from the application, just to take the reference information. We are going to open the create transaction page. Okay, this is our business unit, right? I'm taking into notepad. So transaction source and all, it would be that already we kept ready. Cloud INC customer 1. Okay, let it be. Okay, fine. So we'll go to the sheet now. So business unit, provide business unit name. So that information is ready in the spreadsheet. Notepad, you can just take into spreadsheet. Sorry. So transaction batch source name. So mandatory batch source name. What is the batch source name? Okay. So this is a source name, right? Transaction source. Receivables import. Transaction type. Type is Cloud INC invoice. And payment terms, you can go with this. Transaction date. So July, yeah, 17, 18. So you can provide that accounting date also. So here, to fill this information, we have to go to customer definition. We'll see that. So original system built to customer reference. It's not mandatory. Ignore it. Original system built to customer address reference. Not mandatory. Ignore it. So original system ship to customer account reference. Not mandatory. Original system ship to customer account address reference. Not mandatory. If you want to take from the real, from which system you are migrating the data, you may take it. So original system ship to customer contact reference. Not mandatory. Not mandatory. Ship to customer reference. Original system sold to customer, no, but these details you have to provide. Okay, so bill to customer account number, bill to customer site number. Same way, ship to customer account number, ship to customer site number we have to provide. Bill to customer account number, our customer account number we have to provide. For that you can directly go to customer, manage customers. From there we can take the number. Sorry, directly just go to accounts receivables or billing. So manage customers. Customer name is Cloud INC customer 1. Just drag it to right. The first one. Select this record. Okay, the first customer 1. What is the account number? 17097. So that we have to enter here. Okay, the bill to customer account number. Okay, this is the account number 17097. 17097. Bill to customer site number. What is the site number? So this is site number. Instead of copying directly into sheet, you can take into notepad. From here you can take it. Done. So bill to customer account number, bill to customer site number. Yes, we provided. Now we have to provide ship to customer account number. Bill to customer, ship to customer account number is same. Bill to and ship to for same customer, so same account number. And ship to customer site number. For ship to and bill to, we are using the same site number you can provide. So the transaction line type. Okay, transaction line description. So say some services or anything. USD. Currency conversion type is mandatory column. So since we are not dealing with the foreign currency here, we are going with the functional currency, that is USD. So you can keep user defined rate, and you can provide today's date. And just keep rate as a 1. That means whatever the amount you enter, it will take as it is. And unit selling price, say $25,000. And line transaction flex field contest. Okay, here we have to provide the contest name. We created as a contest structure as Cloud INC sales order. This you should take into this. Okay, and within this, how many segments we created? Only one segment. Okay, only one segment. So that segment is sales order number. We given maximum 10 numbers. Okay, maximum size is 10. So here you can enter the sales order number. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, done. So these are all other segments. No, we are not using in the line transaction flexible structure, only one segment. This is all you can remove. This is coming from sample data, right? So go through all the columns. So this information not at all required for us. So verify all the columns. Let it be, or else remove that. So verify all the columns, because by default you could see the sample record for every template which you download. So if you remove the complete data and if you are preparing, okay, but the sample record, if you are going to modify as per your need, you have to verify all the columns.
Lakshman?
Yep. Yeah, please.
So in R12, right, in order to,
Yeah.
so in R12, as a technical developer, so when we have data coming from multiple legacy systems, we get the data from multiple files and then we consolidate and put it into a staging table, and we go through that kind of a route. And finally, we put it into the interface table by doing the pre and post validations, and then finally put the data into the interface tables, and then we run the auto invoice program. That is the procedure.
Correct.
Correct? So now here you are showing the template here. So since we are going with one single record, that is okay. But what if we are trying to merge multiple files from different legacy systems and we need to bring the data? What is the process?
See here, multiple systems in the sense, just what technical people do is, say you are talking about the process if you are going to extract the data from different systems, source systems, right?
Right. In that particular case, like, right.
Yeah. In that case, what
the
you can
bottom
do,
line is,
what you could do is use the same template. Okay, write that extraction and take the data into the sheet.
okay, so if I have multiple the files coming from different places, so I have to combine and
Yeah, it's just
put
process of
it
copying and
into.
pasting. That's it.
So eventually it has to go over here in this template only, right?
Through
There
this
is no other way.
yes, through this it could be manual process. Even if you are going to have a automation of, I mean, if you are going to build the interface, which is an online interface, all the time it will fetch the data from third party to the Fusion receivables. In that case, also for integration process, also will use the same. Now, whatever you are going to do through manual process, that you can automate by integrating. That's it.
Okay. So the next question is, let's say the client is having pass also. In that particular perspective, can we still write the code and put the data directly into the interface tables and run the schedule process without touching this template?
Yes, directly also you can do that. You can do that source system field mapping with this interface through SOA.
Okay, that provision has been given.
Yeah.
That provision has been given, right?
Yeah, that they given the field mapping directly you do as a cloud integration. So, but this is the best practice. What happens if you take through this process easily? You can identify the errors and everything, because it's built by Oracle and all they added all this uh, programming also to this process and all. Otherwise, you have to come up with all your validations, etc. Or else these templates by default will have enough validations. So this is what
Sorry for asking.
take months, but still, if you want to go with your own approach of very manual integration and all, yes, you can do it.
Okay, there's one more question. Is sorry for asking little technical. So in R12, right, we are no more using the interface tables. Of course, APIs have been given for creating auto invoice and customer import and all. So do we have similar kind of a concept in Fusion also? Because here we are looking in the interface tables here. So is APIs are still there in Fusion? Do they work, or they change
No.
to the interface tables again?
So here interface tables only will be using the logic, building the logic and all will be coming up with the SOA only. In the SOA we have a different options. That could be web services or inbuilt connectors and the different other options we have to bring the data from other system. Those logic depending on which data, how you want to process will be chosen. Here we'll be using the interface concept only. Okay. Even in EBS also it's all about up to us. Depending on data only we'll be choosing the whether we have to get through interface or APIs, right? So
Right.
the same way here also. But here we'll be using the interface and the logic and how you have to it could be inbound or outbound that will be building through SOA options. Okay, right. So just we
The only
yeah.
the only difference I see is in the line transaction flex field you gave only sales order, but typically there will be line number too, because one invoice may contain multiple lines, so that's the difference. For example point of view, it's good, but on the line transactions flex field, definitely line number would be there.
Line number.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, what happens is this record system will take as a header information as a line. How many lines we have, will be entering all. See, it's itself lines. Okay, the line will have a same. See, we'll be entering the same number. That sales order has how many lines. That's it. If I'm entering 10 lines, for 10 lines, I'll be giving the same sales order number. That's all. That I'll be.
Or it will be system will be taking
Yes,
the
numbering.
information.
Yes.
Okay.
That will be mapping with the distribution. Whatever the sales order number you given through transaction flex will attribute that you have to map with the distribution. That's how system will establish the relation between the distributions with this line. And the line anyway, line will be useful to create the transaction header as well as line. We don't have a separate tab for transaction header. In case of EBS, normally when you create transaction, we'll have a header section where we'll provide the transaction source, type, right, customer information, all the details. Then line will have a distribution. Three sets of information. But here tabs, lines and distribution. Line definition would be enough to create the header part as well as lines. Okay, that line belongs to then we'll create the distribution. Within the distribution we'll be specifying the distribution belongs to which line. Already line will get connected to header. That's how the system will be able to create the invoice. Okay, we'll go to
Okay.
distributions and just remove all. So here keep two because we need two distributions, right? One for receivables, one for revenue. If you go with a very basic event. So you take your business unit, copy and paste. So we need two distribution accounts, one for receivables, one for revenue as a basic, right? So let's prepare both at a time. So two lines, event class, receivables, and the revenue. 100%. So here line transaction flex will contest. So whatever we have in this line level, the same we have to give for distribution also. That's how system will understand and based on the further information. So what is the name we have? Cloud INC SO. For this receivables as well as revenue, for both we are giving. Here remove this sample data, and this distribution belongs to which is sales order line. The sales order number you have to provide. Sales order number is this. So this distribution, receivables distribution belongs to this sales order. The revenue distribution also belongs to same sales. That's how we'll be connecting each distribution line with this sales invoice distribution, sales invoice line or invoice line, you can say. These we don't have these many field segments usage, only one segment, the sales order number. Now this is mapped here. That means for this line These are the two distribution lines. That's all. That's how system will understand. So just go through other columns. So here you can provide those two accounts, receivables and revenue accounts. Okay. So this is not mandatory, but it's recommended to just provide here. It has to derive, auto accounting should derive, but it's recommended to provide. Just we'll go and give it. We are in the transaction screen. We'll enter some text. So from here we can take the account code combinations. Go to actions, edit distribution. We need receivables and revenue account code combination. We'll provide by taking from here. Okay. So receivables 13005. Company is 1000. Department 1000. Account is 13005. 13005. Only three segments we have. In this sample data, we could see more than those you can remove. Why it's not responding? Yeah. For revenue also you can provide. For revenue account is 40111. Done. So go through other columns which you have in this template for distribution. Done. Line information which will create header and lines. Distribution which will create the distributions which are with the specification of lines against lines.
Isn't it there something percentage? Like
Sorry?
there must be some there must be some percentage, right? And the
Because they given
distribution.
100%, right?
Oh, I didn't see that. Sorry.
Yeah, here.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
No issues. Yeah, fine, done. Okay, so sales credits information if you want to provide, you can provide in the same way. So contingencies in case of revenue. So these are all details you can provide. Even if you want to give the amount, you can enter here. Nothing wrong. Same amount you can enter. So much you are dealing. I think we entered 25,000 or 20,000, 25,000. That you can enter for the distribution level also 25, 25 receivables and revenue. Done. The rest of process remains same. Okay. So what we have to do? So better you can save this record. Saved. Now create CSV file. So we'll take into the same folder. Cloud customer FBDI we given. Save it. Save this zip file, and it will create the zip file with the specific CSV files also automatically done. Created. Now we can go and load this process. Like you can take into UCM. Otherwise, directly you can submit the load interface file for import process, right? Downloaded, we prepared with the data, we convert to CSV. Now you can load into interface. We'll go into load into interface. Navigate to scheduled processes. Scheduled process. load interface. Okay, load interface file for import, right? That is a process job we have to run, which is common for any data. Within that, the process name will give based on the data, right? We'll do that. So import process, it's related to auto invoice. So here you can search for it. So import auto invoice. So directly you can browse the file because we didn't place that file in the UCM, right? So directly you can upload into this parameter. So this is the one. Here auto invoice import. Say OK. Submit. So let it run. Fine. So succeeded. Now what is the next step? Once you run this process, what system will do? It will move the data from that sheet to interface. From that data, whatever we have in the interface, we have to import into base tables. For that, we have a separate job called as import auto invoice process. Go to schedule processes. In between, if any issue with the data here, it will create the file. Okay, it will just trigger the status. By seeing the status, you can select the record and you can find out the errors. Even you can have access to interface table also. I'll show you that. So now we have to run import auto invoice process. Import auto invoice. Say OK. Transaction source. Which transaction source we used in that data sheet? Receivables import, right? Select it. All other parameters are optional. Directly you can submit. Okay, it may take a couple of minutes time. We'll wait for that. Okay, let it run. Meantime, I'll take you through this navigation. If you have any issues with the data which is there in the interface, so in that case, you can go to billing. Now in our case, like there is no issue with the data. We loaded the data and it is through. But if you have any issues, you can just go with this task. Manage auto invoice lines. It will allow you to have access to, this task will allow you to have access to interface tables. So that if you have any errors and all, you can correct and you can submit from interface itself. So in EBS also, we have a navigation on the user interface to see the data which is there in the interface tables, right? Same. But here through
So
spreadsheet.
Lakshman, just for one single record itself, it is taking this much time. So what if we have like 100,000 records, for example, in the sheet and we are running it?
See
It's going
that
to stay for a long time.
it won't take that much time, like because it is taking for one record so and so time, and based on that we no need to calculate. It's a very standard time. It takes. Even if you have more records, it may take little bit more time, but not equally for one record 2 minutes, 10 records not 20 minutes. Okay, so some standard time it takes follows because it has to move through different steps. So certain validation need to be passed. Even one record or two records, the sequential of validations and everything need to be verified. Even if you put the two records, it won't make big difference. If you have more records, then slightly you could see some difference. Okay, Cloud, yes, related to this business unit, you don't have any issues here. If you have some issues, you can correct the error, it will display and all, you can correct, and you can go to manage auto invoice lines. Once you correct, you can say submit. Okay, so you can select your business unit and you can search with the view. If any issues are there, it will display. So there are no interface lines which are ended with error. Nothing. There are the two lines which we just now processed. It's showing.
Like EBS, does it run multi-thread auto invoice import?
Sorry.
Like EBS R12, does it run multi-thread program like auto invoice program?
Multi-thread in the sense?
I mean, you can run multiple auto invoice
Multiple. Okay, okay.
Like parallel workers.
Yes, yes.
parallel.
You can run it. Okay. While it's running again, you can just go and submit. Again, that could be some different source. You may load the data into this interface, which refers to multiple transaction sources. So that could be the simple example where you can keep running at a time multiple
No,
with respect to
I
the
don't think.
operator, it will process.
No, in the same source, for the same source, you can run submit multiple auto invoice import programs.
Same source, yeah, same source also it will accept, but the before that, whatever you run based on the timestamp, it will pick that relevant information, right? It will allow
Like a parallel
you,
workers.
it won't.
It is a parallel workers. You can say there. I think there is a setup actually. Number of threads you can run. If you say 10, so you can submit 10 auto invoice. I mean, the data in the submission, one submission can be distributed among the
workers
10.
workers allocation also, that is also plays a major role, right? Jobs here we are calling.
It's there is a profile option which is which will drive the parallel, runs and the multiple threads for the invoice, auto invoice. There is a profile option in the EBS. We don't know whether we have that here or not.
So can we define incompatibilities here?
So I mean, what exactly what cap?
Like when more than like one program during the time, there should not be any clash between one program to another program. Let's say we are running a kind of
See, it's here.
scenario.
No, that what it will do is wherever it is, as you mentioned, incompatible, it will hold that. It will whenever you run. We have seen that case in this, what I could say, LDAP, right? If you submit LDAP, already is running, it will take into queue and will mark the status as blocked. So by default, that's how it happens. That has to be done more in the some administration side. Okay, so we have this IDM application that's it falls into some technical that they don't allow here. Up to 11 we can go and you can just manage the scheduling from there itself directly, the provision they're given. But here we don't see that. That you may just prefer like IDM, like maybe some documents and all that. There we may find it. Okay, here by following this process, you could see that as that information is imported. Okay, with the 25,000, you can go and find the transaction from transaction workbench. So manage transactions. So reference number. Transaction source. Let's search with the transaction source. Receivables import. This is not required. Search. So we created one transaction with this transaction source through spreadsheet that you could see with the $25,000. Just taking time, we'll wait. Yep. So this is a transaction which we created. So we'll import. We return description as a service, right? 25,000. Done. So this is how just we can perform this conversion for open transactions. So that's all for today. We'll connect tomorrow, same time.